I made a status about it on Facebook recently, talking about, you don't want to raise your kids by trying to control their behavior, but try to talk to them about their emotions and stuff. And I said, I remember it was times, I would cry myself to sleep, begging my mom to talk to me, but she wouldn't want to talk to me, And I just felt like if I could talk to her about what I was going through, we could come to some sort of understanding. Do I really think there's a God? Yes. I was raised to believe in God. I never doubted this belief when I was younger. As I got older, I realized I'm not a Christian anymore, and I'm not officially part of any religion, because I do believe in science, and I believe that finding out true scientific knowledge is the way to make our lives better here. But the psychological understanding of the effect of the belief in God is something I've studied and listened to a lot of famous psychologists talk about, and the inspiration it can give a person while still believing in God, And even if my scientific mind, would ever think that there's no man in the sky, one of a famous physicist said, you start out your scientific career or your physicist career being an atheist, and then, by the time you get to the bottom of the glass, you see God staring back at you, And the thing is, a lot of science has never made me doubt God. It's only made me change my perspective of God and, what God is, and, it's only made me see God as, I've always feel like God's been in my life. Agnostic. My beliefs are somewhat agnostic because I like to be objective and reserve the mental capacity to understand that I don't 100% know, but at the same time I choose to believe in this force that's guiding me and that cares about me and that loves me, And I'm not gonna lie, there's times that I've been convinced of there's nothing outside of you that's not within. And it really takes a whole coming full circle in different understandings of faith, There's the inward and the outward path of devotion. And the inward teaches that everything that is without can be found within. But at the end of the outward path, you also realize that everything that you have found without is part of you, And the Indians in India have talked about this in their theology discussions for thousands of years. They actually have specific words in Sanskrit for the path of finding devotion to God on the inward path and the outward path. And they just see it as different forms of devotion, not one that's right or one that's wrong, But I've been able to discuss with hippies and come to an understanding that, yes, there is the inward path a lot of these hippies are attracted to, but the outward path is the same and also valid. It's just two different paths to the same thing. Even in Christianity, I learned growing up that God is omnipresent and omnipotent. Omnipresent meaning he's everywhere at all times. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, who, just like Jesus is seen as an incarnation of God in Christianity, he was seen as an incarnation of God in Hinduism in his time. And he said, I dwell in all things. All things dwell in me, but I do not dwell in them. And if you really think about that, on the spiritual level, he's saying everything has a part of him in it, because him, he's talking about, is the God force, the God consciousness, the oneness of not only everything in the material universe, but beyond. The technical terms they have for this nowadays in the English language is actually, there's pantheism, which believes that the whole universe is God itself as one thing, but then there's pantheism. instead of P-A-N theism, pantheism, P-A-N-E theism, pantheism. You can look this up on Google. It's modern English words to describe this, that God is not only the whole universe, but beyond the universe. The universe is just one part of him, you know? So this material universe we know is just one part of God who's much greater than even this universe, you know? But this whole universe is a piece of him, you know? And me using him and he is just because it's easier for me as a man to use this, and I was traditionally brought up in this patriarchal Christian religion. I don't think you can put God in one gender though and say he's a man, you know, and you know, he could be a woman, you know, it could be a woman, it could be, I don't think it's a man or a woman, I think it's above gender. Okay, so I believe in progressive ideals that we should strive for, like gender inclusivity. God bless you, LME Music family. Hello, I. Anyone who has watched this live or seen me screaming and is still here and doesn't hate me and has a little bit of respect for me as an individual, as a human being, I really appreciate you. Thank you. I really gotta go number 2 though, and it's been a while. Thank you guys for being here today.